Live streaming is on.
Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is March the 26th. 2020. Strong hand, golden age of the 2020s, having hype. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Conviction, have some conviction in these trying times. I'm offended by selling. Unconfiscatable. Compete, don't complain. All right, dudes. Hello, my elite friends. If you have questions, I have answers. Type in Bitcoin Meister or do a super chat. I'll see it over there. Tomorrow, noon Eastern time, noon Baltimore time. That's 9 a.m. in Los Angeles. I think it's 4 p.m. in London. This week in Bitcoin, Neil Woodfine will be coming in from Thailand. That's why we're doing it at a weird hour. Gabriel Devine and Jan Pritzker will also be on. It is going to be exciting. And of course, you can check out all the old This Week in Bitcoin shows at techbalt.com. Follow me on Twitter at techbalt, TECHBALT, disruptmeister.com. Hey, I want to say yesterday, someone recommended the VLC music player. I downloaded it. Dude, it's awesome. You are absolutely right. I can play podcast at really fast speed. So thank you to the people who mentioned that yesterday. Very, very good stuff. Let me just see how everything's going. All right. 123 No Scope said, have any normies been asking you about Bitcoin yet? Do you think this stimulus package will wake people up to what Bitcoin is? Well, part one of that question, I really haven't run into too many normies lately because not many people are out and about. Synagogue has been, they shut that down, although we might be back on Saturday again. So, but your second part of the question, will this increase the largest spending bill ever wake people up to Bitcoin? Yeah, it'll wake some people up to it. I mean, it's getting to be, but probably not that many, not as many as you probably hope will be, will realize what's going on at all. I mean, people are in panic mode still. And if you lost your job, you're not going to be thinking about Bitcoin. And apparently we're going to talk about the unemployment numbers. They were horrible, but I mean, that it was expected. But yeah, it should wake up some people, but probably not as much as you expect. All right, let us move on, or as much as you would hope. Bitcoin. All right, pound that like button, people. Let's get pumped, baby. It's a beautiful day in Southern California. Well, yes, and I will be here until May 31st, it appears. Okay. But, all right. That's life, baby. I love it. It's always fun to be in California. Now, we've got Bitcoiners out there, speaking about these bailouts. A lot of their Bitcoiners out there, they don't like bailouts. They don't like, they're like, this is why I got into Bitcoin. They're saying this should wake people up. Well, I've got something to say to some of the Bitcoiners out there. Have some consistency, some of you guys. Some Bitcoiners are saying that the bailouts should get people to rebel. And they can't understand how the people won't rebel, after $6 trillion in spending, whatever it is. At the same exact time, some of these same Bitcoiners are telling people that they need to obey the government and not work and comply and do not rebel. So be consistent here. Be consistent here. On one hand, you're like, oh, look at this, the $1 trillion bailout. Everyone should be rebelling like us because we're true rebels. But at the same, then on the other hand, they're like, no, go with the flow of the government. Do not rebel. Of course, people aren't going to rebel against the money printing because they are so used to compliance at this point. And you're promoting compliance, some of you dudes out there. Now, there are there are some great true Bitcoin radicals out there, I got to say. All right. A radical doesn't comply. A radical thinks for himself. A radical does not join the herd. And Bitcoin naturally attracts people like that. But hey, this is where the big boys play. So there are bootlickers in Bitcoin also. But hey, we deal with it. People, that's the thing. No one can be kicked out of Bitcoin. No one can, anyone can join, your worst enemy. All right. And I will say this, and I think I've said it before, but the virus is bringing out so much information about people. People are revealing a lot about themselves. People you would never suspect to be statists and bootlickers when the going gets a little tough in their heads, when they start to get scared. Oh boy, you start to see it. And then again, they go back to the talk, well, why won't people rebel? Well, you're not a rebel. You complied in 2 seconds. And you think you want people to rebel against a $6 trillion bailout, and you comply, and you're promoting no one should be working. We should all be home. We should all be scared. Blah blah blah. All right, and so yeah, people try to remember who complied, who the true radicals out there that don't go with the flow, that just aren't scared, that understand that fitting in is freaking overrated, and don't panic. Don't be scared. Man, my eyes just opened up. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, any other questions over there? Come on, dudes. We give me some questions here. All right. Ooh, we would get people are saying things over there. I can see that. Let's get to the next point here. We're trying to get through this so I can go running today. Oh, and you better believe I'll be running out there today. Beautiful. It's fresh air. I'll be sucking in all that fresh air. There are people that are scared of like breathing in fresh air. They think there's disease in the fresh air. Okay, so are you really a radical? Or are you really a bootlicker that joins the herd when things get scary? Slowly but surely, it is leaking out that popular projections of doom were overblown. Okay, the guy in England that said, hundreds of thousands were going to die, or whatever it was, millions. He's issued a new statement that isn't that scary, but everyone got scared about it. Now the media isn't covering that much, but there are some people that are covering it, which is good. And I'm telling you that it's slowly but surely coming out that there were a lot of overblown projections, and at the same time there were people who stood up when those projections were coming out and said, you know what? Don't panic, people. You're generating insane reactions. So, I was one of the guys that said shutting down the whole economy. Wait a second here. Let's take a moment. Those might be scary numbers, but what would shutting down the whole economy do? And so we're still in shutdown mode. So more and more people have to, hopefully will find out about these retractions and see that the people do not panic, will be vindicated, the true radicals. Hey, and that's the cool thing about being in the Bitcoin overlay, that you can take principled stands and not worry at all. You should be able to take a principled stand even if you're not in the Bitcoin overlay. But being in the Bitcoin overlay, being a radical, radicals take principled stands, okay? Because we're living in a day when it's normal just to go with the flow and be part of the herd. So yeah, Bitcoin is all clearly being in Bitcoin now at this moment in such an emotionally driven panic time that we're living through. And I'm just wondering. You're a true radical if you're in Bitcoin at this moment, but I do wonder if some of these guys who are just conforming and saying, be a follower now. I'm wondering, have they just been talking a big game? Do they actually own Bitcoin, these people? I'm wondering, do they panic away? If they're so willing to panic, you would have to think they panic sold. And we do. And we have heard about some Bitcoin guys that are saying, yeah, I sold now. I'm scared. I'm scared about my health. And they give reasons and whatever. But hey, make up your own mind what you're going to do. Okay. Don't sell because everyone else is selling. Don't sell because you're scared of the groupthink that out there. The fear-based media and clickbait world blow this out of proportion, just like they do. And JW, watch the show that JW was on. What was that? Tuesday show, and watch Simon's when Simon was on my show on Monday. They're definitely opposites, JW and Simon. Oh yeah, dude, Simon was saying some status stuff. Simon Dixon we're talking about, but JW pointed out that that more, the last few years, whenever there's a tropical storm, oh my God, the social media, the media, everyone is blowing it out of proportion like never before. And so this is just a part of that trend. They're treating this like a tropical storm. They're going that route. But hey, you can hear more of that if you watch JW on my show. When I was running the other day, I saw a homeless woman with a better laptop than me. Pound that like button. Oh yeah, you better believe it. Yeah, you see some wild things out there. And what a time of abundance. Even during all this panic, there's a homeless woman walking around. She had a laptop. It looked like she was trying to connect to the web. I don't know. And it was better than my laptop that I'm using right now. It's kind of there's a few of you that have seen this heavy piece of junk that I have out here. And I think some of you can imagine it now better than ever after I just gave that little story. So yes, largest spending bill in the history of the world. So with that in mind, if no one is working, if very few people are working in the United States, the government is making up a huge part of the economy. Government spending. I mean, is that communism? I mean, what are we in now? Socialism, fascism? It's collectivism. It's statism. It's disgraceful. But that is what we're in right now. Okay. And who would have thought at the start of the year that we would have that we'd be in such a realm right now? Now, I think people are going to come to their senses soon, and people are going to get very frustrated if we don't go back to work. And I think there's going to be a lot of damage. I mean, there's going to be a lot. The unemployment, it's really unfortunate. Some jobs won't come back, but hey, and we'll be in a recession of sorts, but it could be pretty fast. There'll be a lot of doomers predicting a lot worse than what really happens, I think. Hey, I'm an optimist though, but the sooner the better we get done with this, the more confident I will be that if this Easter thing really happens, if everything is cool by Easter again, then man, we're on. That's a great path. But if it's after Easter, things might get. Again, things aren't going to be perfect. It should never have come to this. 2020 should have been the best freaking year ever in terms of the economy, and it's not going to be. But 2021 very much could be very much. And again, if you're in the Bitcoin overlay, you're cool, man. You are cool. Now, on that note, second tier currencies. If you're in a country or lower, if you're watching this, you're in a country. It's got like a second tier or third tier or worse currency. And there's not many of you that are in those type of countries because there's a lot of you watching in Australia, in Europe, in Japan. Those are all top tier currencies. Those are top tier. Definitely. I mean, maybe an argument could be made that Australia is a little bit lower. But, if you're in a country like Uruguay or Argentina or those are pretty South Africa. Dude, I don't know how you could have any of your savings at this point in one of those currencies, okay? At the very least, you should be in Bitcoin, but I wouldn't blame you for being in the dollar at this point because we're printing up all these dollars. It's gonna flow real nice into these other currencies, and they're inflating their currencies also. This is not a time. People are piling into the dollar because of panic. They're not. No one's talking about developing nations and their currencies now. I would not. If you have a bank account in these countries and it's denominated in those currencies, I don't know what you're thinking, man. But there are plenty of people that are just compliant bootlickers and they don't question their governments, even though they've been through like horrible inflationary episode. You're going to go through some high inflationary episodes in some of these countries. I can't predict which ones, but I'm sure there are people watching this right now that they're in for a bruising. Okay, but hey, but some of you, this is a freaking Bitcoin show, you should already be in the Bitcoin, and I don't know how you could have be saving in these other second tier, third tier currencies. Now, I want to point everyone out to some collectivist words that are being used by some of the people that are panicking, some of the bootlickers, and some of the people that really, they don't mean to be bootlickers, but they are, and they're spreading panic, okay? So they come up, they're making YouTube shows, and we're all guilty of saying things sort of like this, okay? Because collectivism is the default, so and individualism is an accomplishment, is the accomplishment. So you have to always be constantly, up on your individualism game. And you can't be 100%. But there are people out there that are like, what should our strategy be? Yeah, I'm stressing the word our. What should we do? Okay? And Scott Adams is a guy that say, this is not about our strategy. When you're talking about our strategy, you get into that collectivist mode, that fascist mode. We're saying we got to do what is best for the country, okay? What is best for the country. We have to do what's no, it's not about we and our here, all right? You're an individual. What's the best way to approach what is going on? Are you young? Are you old? What's the situation? So when you start hearing people talk about our strategy and what should we do, that's a telltale sign that they bought into the panic, and that you should run away from them, definitely, or just understand. Now again, you probably heard me say we before too, and this, no one is perfect, but during a time like this, you watch someone long enough, they keep on saying our strategy, we, what is for the good of the nation. It's pretty obvious what's going on. All right, let me go back to seeing a question. Oh, UK Bitcoin Master's in the house. I watched his show earlier. Check him out. It was really great to see you in the chat on my live show earlier. It was great to be there. All right, Mark. I missed a lot of things here. Hang on. We got to go back in time to Roman Q said, looks like you initiated a JW Weatherman tour. JW and Giacomo, I heard about this. We're on Tales from the Crypt yesterday. Worth a listen to if you want to hear an honest conversation instead of panic culture. Good. I mean, those are both dudes that have been on my show before. Obviously, JW was just on. JW's Twitter feed has been great lately. If people, I'm not naming the names of the weak hands that are out there. I'm not gonna play that. But I'll tell you some good guys in the Bitcoin realm that have been great lately. At least today, JW has been good. Safadine has been really good today. Safadine, however his name is pronounced. He's been real good today. Who else has been good? I mean, I think Hodlnot has been good. I don't know. I haven't. The usual people that I check out. I mean, I don't want to name names of who's been bad. There's been plenty of people. I can hardly even look at their feeds anymore. I mean, it's like, whoa, I didn't know this about you, man. All right, it's disappointing, but okay, we're big boys. Let's keep on doing it. This will all end. And some of these dudes that are just acting like children when it comes to the virus situation, they still have good Bitcoin stuff out there. And when this is all over, I will still, they've got some Bitcoin wisdom, but you do have to wonder, do they even hold Bitcoin? Some of these guys at this point. And 123 NoScript said, I know you don't believe in hyper Bitcoinization. You were correct about that. But do you think it's possible for there to be 500 million Bitcoin users by 2032? Comparing Bitcoin to the internet, that seems realistic. Yeah, that's 12 years away. 500 million. That's not asking a lot, because the world population will be 8 billion by then, and so that's 1/16 of the world pop. Yeah. That wouldn't be shocking at all. Because also Bitcoin users, some people won't even know they're using Bitcoin. It'll be underlying something. Yeah, that's fine. And that's not hyper Bitcoinization either. Okay. And we're talking worldwide there. We're talking worldwide numbers. All right. Martin DeVito says, you saying that people are in panic mode still. I understand you cannot sacrifice freedom for safety. We're going to talk about that in a second. But how do you explain 21 million deactivated cell phones in China? Well, Martin, you on the other day, and I appreciate that you were watching my show the other day, by the way, on Saturday. You have some thoughts about China and conspiracies, okay? Now, I want to say that right now, on the same line of thought, China is not being cooperative, to say the least. I think at this point, they know how not so serious this is, and they're being quiet about it because they know, why not have all the Western nations of the world be panic-stricken, okay? Why not? So did they plan it out like this? I doubt it. Did there come a point in the progression of all this when they figured out, hey, these guys are overreacting. We're going to let them keep on overreacting? Yeah, I think that's very possible. I'm not too worried about it. And Martin also says, I hope you're stocked up on food and water, Ada. Why water? Why water? I mean, the water works fine, dude. That's spreading fear right there. I have food. There's food galore here. But I mean, I'm not. The food is being delivered fine. The food isn't going to be stopped to be delivered right now. I don't know why. Supply chains are fine. People are buying too much food. They're throwing away food. It's not getting worse in America. But how do you explain the 21 million deactivated cell phones in China? Well, some people who don't follow their rules, they get in trouble there. Has China, when all of this, when they shut down certain provinces, did they also maybe get rid of some dissidents at the same time? It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. But this is not a political show to cover the atrocities of China. And China's government has committed atrocities. And did they use the virus as a cover to commit more atrocities? Probably. I mean, it wouldn't. All sorts of stuff might come out about that. But it's a Bitcoin show here, so and it's virusy stuff. And you've got more comments here. Okay, I knew that. Okay, you're talking about China some more. This is the, you say the name of the virus world now. It's not going away. Expect drastic changes. Well, no, I've talked about that. I think afterwards, people are going to be more prone to panic. But if you're a 20%er, if you're in the Bitcoin overlay, you can really ignore all this stuff. I mean, it's not going to affect you the same way. But there are going to be a lot of people stuck in panic prisons after this. The world won't be the same for a lot of people. They're going to be really just worried about diseases, worried about all of this for a while. But if you're a rational person, you're not going to fall into this trap. They're not that many, but most people are irrational most of the time. Okay, let me get back to my notes here. Thank you for the comments, everyone. Keep on asking questions. Okay, we talked about the homeless woman with the better laptop than me. That's always fun. We talked about collectivism. So here is something from Pump, a tweet. Here is just what happened. Here's just what is this? I don't even know what it. Okay. 1, the government just shut down small businesses. 2, forced unemployment for millions. Bailed out Wall Street. 4, devalued the savings of those without assets. Sending you $1,200 and thoughts and prayers. Educate yourself. No one is looking out for you. Yes, look out for yourself, guys. The government just did all those things. And the number 4 point that he said there, devalue the savings of those without assets. Dudes, you need assets. And most people don't have assets. If you don't have assets, oh man, yeah, you're saving in dollars. This is not a good time. This is not. It was they just printed up cash is your asset. They just printed up your asset. Cash is not as rare as it previously was. That is, and you will eventually feel it. I mean, again, dollar is king of the fiat, and people are flocking to the dollar right now. So hey, if your dollar is going to buy it, get some real assets. Bitcoin is the real asset right now. But his bigger point is no one is looking out for you. Yes, so take personal responsibility. It is a new counterculture more than ever. The mainstream culture is relying on the government. White Mike Tuchlis. All right, they say. Having freaking hype, link to below. What's it? 48 more days. I have it listed below. I'll read that in a second. I don't even know. But spread the word, dude. Spread the word. And yesterday I said this. I want to say it again. There's so many people out there that want to be part of a cause. They want to stop the virus cause, virus panic cause. That's these mass movement minded people. They want to be part of a mass movement. No, you should be part of your own cause. Take care of yourself. All right, let's get some be a unique beast. I love seeing more and more unique beasts out there. More radicals, the better. But they're not. Hey, so Derek left a comment yesterday. Turn your digital dollar airdrop into BTC. I love it, man. That's a great way of thinking about this. We're going to get a digital dollar, $1,200 airdrop. What do I say? You don't buy something you get for free. When you get your crypto dividend, when you get your airdrop, you turn it into Bitcoin. So I like that, Derek. Thinking of the $1,200 that apparently we're all going to be, and I did that in advance. I mean, I knew this was. I already spent my $1,200 before I got it, and got Bitcoin with that. So guilt is powerful, people. The state uses guilt to expand power. All right. They say, love your neighbor. Why aren't you loving your neighbor? You should be loving your neighbor now. Love yourself. Why worry about yourself? Worry about yourself. Don't be guilted like your neighbor is sick. You should not work because your neighbor is sick, because your fellow American is sick. You should shut everything down. And it's guilt. And what are they doing? They're expanding power over because everyone's conforming to it. And there's more and more monitoring of everyone. It's terrible. So love yourself. Think of yourself here. Don't fall for this guilt nonsense. It is very powerful. Guilt is very powerful. Okay. So April 1st is coming along. I mean, less than a week away. So most people, the first of the month, that's when you pay your bill. A lot of people pay their bills. A lot of people pay their rent. So there are going to be a lot of people that need money. There are going to be a lot of people that aren't getting paid. If we continue on this path of having April 1st might be a real nasty day, just putting it out there. But maybe there'll be the spark to get people to just really, the government will be scared on that day and just be like, we can't continue this shutdown situation. So it's April Fool's, but it's also the first of the month. So there's a lot of people expecting a lot of payments and that aren't going to be able to pay. A lot of, are people going to get evicted? What's going to happen? It'll be the start of something very interesting. Now, I'm amazed how Drudge, well, not amazed, but Drudge and so many other popular sites, even Fox, CNN, they have such scary headlines. And like this is never going to end. And yet there are so many reports out there that I have shared with you. I linked to, again, that Swiss site. I linked to Carl Danger and Market Ticker. These are all things you should check out right now. These are logical, calm, unemotional reports about things getting better, about how the stats have been false. and then things are not as bad, and things should be changing very soon in terms of the progression of the virus and all that. But it's two different worlds. There are two different worlds out there, and most people are stuck. I mean, they're reading Drudge Report, Fox, CNN, or MSNBC, all this ridiculous, and they are just living in a panic prison. And it's amazing if they just took some time to manually search out, because they are just stuck in algorithms, and they're just stuck in the same loop. They would see. I check out all the mainstream stuff. I see the other side of the story. I see the panic prison that's going on. At the same time, I see the other side, the logical side of the story, and I pick logic. And that's radical today, apparently. Okay. Even when infections from the virus are down to zero, Yuval Noah Harari said that way. He was published in the Financial Times. It was an all right article. It's actually not linked to below. Even when infections from the virus are down to zero, some data-hungry governments could argue they needed to keep the biometric surveillance systems in place because they fear a second wave of the virus. Right. Get ready for that, people. When people are given a choice between privacy and health, they will usually choose health. Look how powerful fear is there. And you see that going on right now. People are begging for their privacy to be taken away because they're scared about the health. And yes, expect this all to go away, but then the government to say, well, there might be a second wave when it gets colder again in November. So we got to monitor you. Oh, and we got to shut you down. You can't be open. Oh, we have new regulations for you. One thing that I expect, the next panic that comes up that's semi-manufactured, it's going to involve kids. You notice with this one, people aren't worried about their kids during this one. The next one, people will be worried about their kids because that really hits people hard. And people will be saying, it's for the children. We need to shut down the world I'm just predicting. So if you're in the Bitcoin overlay, you won't have to worry about it, okay? You will be able to speak up against the nonsense, the for the children future panic whenever you want to. Because you'll be in the Bitcoin overlay, you won't have to worry about a bank bail-in or more stimulus or whatever. Hopefully you'll be in a situation where you work for yourself. And you won't have to worry about being fired, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, but just want to point that out. Because before we had a commenter that was saying that the world is going to change. It's going to change for the people who fall for this type of stuff, who get panic-stricken over manufactured crises and aren't prepared. And so I'm preparing you. The next one, there'll be a part 2 to this, return of the virus. Just like Return of the Jedi, or the virus strikes back. There'll be a return. It'll be 3-parter. One will be about the kids. You got to be worried about your kids. This new one, all the kids, for the children. I just like that this panic doesn't involve for the children. That's so old. We've been through things like that before. All right, Zach Vol has a tweet out there. An article, and this is not a positive article, but I'm giving you another side of the story. He says the node count, Bitcoin nodes count is down. Okay, the last 2 Bitcoin bull runs were preceded by a significant spike in nodes coming online, but for now, Bitcoin's node count is falling. So hey, judge it on yourself. Judge for yourself. Perhaps the node count is falling right now because people are panic-stricken and are just doing other things and just not focusing on maintaining their Bitcoin full nodes or whatever, just unplug stuff. I don't know. Because clearly there are some Bitcoiners that are panic-stricken. There's no doubt about it. But it is because the node count is falling, does that mean we're not on the same path as we were when the node counts were going up toward the other halvings? Who knows? Check out the article. It's a different view. I'm giving you as a because Zach is bearish. Zach is bearish on Bitcoin right now. He thinks in terms of fiat for you fiat freaks. And Zach's been on the show plenty of times. He wants to come back on the show. He says he's too busy, but he wants to come back on the show. Yeah, he's bearish. But long term, he's bullish. Okay, whatever. He says it could go, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but lower than it is right now. Let me go to the comments here. All right. Oh God, what do we got here? Oh my God, we got a lot of stuff. Jeez. Okay. Remember, I'm only seeing the stuff that people do super chats or type in Bitcoin Meister, because there's a lot of people talking. Bitcoin is the new Bitcoin, says Edison Gonzalez. Yeah, Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the new Bitcoin. Any way you want to look at it, Dad. Are you going to any halvening party? Well, True Froggy 404. That when is the halving scheduled for? May, the beginning of May. There's little doubt in my mind that here in LA, where I'm going to be, that there will be no halving parties, because people in LA, the restrictions here will be lifted last in U.S. cities. Now, these restrictions do not affect me at all. I've been living my life and everything. But so I doubt there'll be, if someone wants to have an underground halving party here, I'd be happy to go to it, okay? But in Tel Aviv, I know they are delaying their halving party, okay? It will be during the summer. So God willing, I will be in Tel Aviv this summer, and I will go to their halving party, because it's going to be the best halving party on earth once they do it. So for those of you that are freaked out about everything, you can still have a halving party after the halving during the summer. It's never too late to celebrate the halving. But of course, the halving itself will not get delayed. The parties might get delayed, but the beauty of Bitcoin, the absolute strength of Bitcoin is that, no, it doesn't change because of panics and such like that. Okay, we got Benjamin Imhoff. Whenever I see Benjamin Imhoff's name, I think about a teacher I had back in high school who had a similar name. Did you see that they are going to use Ethereum for the US digital coin? I did not see that, and I do not believe it, but provide a link. That's I don't, the digital, all the digital coin has been, it's not even a cryptocurrency, what they're proposing right now. It's just a way to, I mean, the digital dollar already exists. So no, I don't believe they will. If that was announced, the price of Ethereum would go through the freaking roof. It would be huge for centralized Ethereum. And so I think maybe you're repeating a rumor, but hey, who knows? Okay, we're living in the crazy word today. Martin's got more comments, but thank you, Benjamin, for that commentary. I agree with you, everything you said, but this is Martin now. But that doesn't exclude the virus isn't as serious as you think. No, it isn't it is not serious. I provided the links. Problem, reaction, solution, balance between ideas, not all or nothing. It's serious. If you're old, it's serious. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be some 85-year-old diabetic. Can you even be an 80? Do they even live that long, diabetics? I mean, it's sad, but no, it's serious for people with comorbidities. That's what we've been saying the entire time. So it's a serious thing. I mean, diseases are serious. Diseases are not jokes. You don't shut down the whole economy over this type of disease, though. You don't do that. You don't do that. And the information is coming out. All right. J Mac said Bitcoin difficulty adjustment. I'm glad you're bringing this up, J Mac. Went down 16% yesterday, but this didn't seem to affect the price today. That could be bullish. Yeah, it could be. I am not a guy. There are a lot of guys that are into correlating price and difficulty adjustment, and I don't worry about that type of stuff. I really don't. It's not my thing. So, I mean, I'm just a simple supply guy. The new supply is going to get cut in half. So I think that makes a huge difference. I mean, what's been by saying Bitcoin 2020 halving? Now it's 2024 halving, because again, you got to think long term. 2020 halving is not long term anymore; it's short term. So all you newbies, I'm getting you that long term thinking. You got to get used to 2024 halving at this point. Hang on until the 2024 halving; you'll be happy. What do you think about Bitcoin awareness being considered collectivist words? Okay. What do you think about Bitcoin awareness being considered collectivist words. It isn't. Well, no, it's not. It's not. It's not forcing everyone to like. Well, as an individual, you should be happy. Here's a good. As an individual, you should be happy that you know about Bitcoin. How about that? And you shouldn't worry about everyone knowing about it. And you shouldn't, if you're in a position of power, you shouldn't force everyone to know about it or force them to it. Now, is it wrong to spread the word? No, you're not being collectivist by spreading the word about Bitcoin, okay? But because you're trying to help out individuals, okay? Be more individualistic. But I see where you're going with this. If you're an individual, you hold Bitcoin, don't worry about the whole collective getting into Bitcoin. Okay. Don't worry about the whole world getting into Bitcoin. You don't have to worry about it. Worry about yourself. You already got into it. Be happy. If you're a no coiner and you don't have Bitcoin yet and you're waiting for the whole world to get into it, you're doing it wrong. You act as an individual. You don't need Bitcoin to be the coolest thing and the trendiest thing on earth to get into it. 2Froggy404 said, Bitcoin Meister, I got an email today from Swan Bitcoin. Okay. And Jan is going to be on the show tomorrow, so you can ask him what you're about to ask me. Swan Bitcoin saying it is now live, up and running. Yes, that's what it was supposed to be around now, running. I like the straightforward user interface. Would you recommend using it? I will say this. The guys that are behind it are good guys. Okay. So yeah, why not buy from it? You can do Coinbase. Why not? If you hate Coinbase, use them. Yeah, it's an alternative. It's an alternative. Now I haven't used it yet. I know the guys that I've had on the show seem like great guys. It's a great concept. So yeah, it seems good. And I'm glad they got it out. Compete. Don't complain. We need more. It's always great to have competition. And Martin's got another comment here in a second. I mean, yeah, there's no limit on the amount of comments you can have here, guys. You said it yourself. You don't shut down the economy for something that kills only the worse than being reported. New York case. Okay. You're saying New York cases. I don't know what exact point you're trying to get here because okay. Thank you, Martin, for the comments there and everything. Okay, let's stick to the script here. I got my script, not my script, my subject matters. So we talked about Zach, and so I wanted to read this out. I think I sent this to someone. So many people do not even realize they are not making their own decisions anymore. They are just following what is suggested to them by social media, and they get stuck in that loop. In theory, the positive of all this is that those who think for themselves should be better off after all this madness. So yeah, it is apparent that more and more people are just algorithm slaves or just fear slaves. But if you're not one of them, you're out of that. You're out of that loop. You're going to be able to defeat all those people and do better than them. Now, I've mentioned the presidential futures site, the FTX site before. Now, I'm not a gambler, and also I'm an American citizen, so I am not allowed to. American citizens can't use this site. Okay, we're blocked from using this site. It's a prediction market. Will Trump win? Will Biden win? And will Bernie win? And over time now, Trump has gone down and Biden has gone up. But if I were a gambler, and I'm not a gambler, I would set up a Cuomo on there. Okay, Cuomo isn't listed on there yet. You buy that now real cheap, and Cuomo is going to be listed on there eventually. I'm just saying, you get that now for cheap. You sell it for later, and just get out of there. Okay, but that's gamblers. And again, don't give up your precious Bitcoin for that type of stuff. But I'm just saying it is an opportunity for those of you who are addicted to that horrible disease called gambling. he's going to get, Cuomo is going to have to be listed on there eventually. I don't know how you get someone listed on there, but you should get it listed on there, buy it for super duper cheap, and it will go up. It will go up. But those are, hey, this is not a gambling thing, but I'm just thinking about that. I'm making a prediction about a prediction market. How about that? All right. So I've already said the unemployment surge was predictable, and wait until the official government release of, we hit 20% or 25% or 30%. That is that'll rattle some traditional markets. What will it do for Bitcoin? Who knows? Bitcoin is not correlated to those traditional markets. I want to point out that today, if things were normal still, it would have been opening day for baseball. And it is a beautiful day. Dodger Stadium would have looked beautiful today for all those people who like the Dodgers. Obviously, I am not one of those. I like the Baltimore freaking Orioles. Pound that like button. Would have been beautiful. Who knows what it looks like in Baltimore today, but I'm just pointing that out. Let's get back to baseball soon, people. Let's get back to freaking baseball soon. All right. Okay, I talked about the kids. Let's talk about I talked about market ticker. Don't scapegoat, people. Don't scapegoat. We're one day closer to an all-time high. Remember that. And I think it's 48 days. Yeah, it's 48 days until the halving. All right. I'm just going by memory there. I didn't have it written down, actually. We went over that site. We went over. I think we're at the end of the show here. Play this at 2x. Remember that. Oh yeah. We will resist. Do not follow the herd. Okay. That is it. J-Mac does have something to say, though. And we'll leave. This will be the last thing. Pound that like button, though, dudes. And spread it over Twitter. Spread the word over Twitter. TechBall. J-Mac says, Bitcoin Meister, how about your thoughts on the Mt. Gox selling their BSV they got as part of the fork? More selling going there soon. Well, I kind of heard something about that, J-Mac. Of course they should be selling the crypto dividends they got. Of course the Mt. Gox trustee should be selling all. Well, no. That's wrong. I shouldn't have said that. Well, if the Mount, I said that wrong. I said that the trustee should really be giving all that to the people that lost their Bitcoin, but we're not. Apparently, that's not the way it's set up. So since it's set up in a way where people are just going to be compensated either with cash or with Bitcoin, then yeah, if you can't really give it to them, then people should be getting value, every bit of value from their bit. They deserve to get their it was their Bitcoin, although it wasn't because they didn't control their private key. But they should be getting the crypto dividends also. They should be getting the crypto dividends also. So it would have been best for individuals to be able to make up their own minds and say, hey, I'm going to do this with my BSV and my B gold and whatever else they were entitled to. I mean, they were entitled to everything at this point. But no, the Mt. Gox dude, if he's selling it, he shouldn't be benefiting from it. It should all be going to the people who lost their Bitcoin. It should be, but who knows what's going on over there? Okay, but yeah, I think I've heard about this before when they were talking about Bcash. All right, that is, and Max X says still waiting on my my Mt. Gox Bitcoin. I mean, it's insane. It's insane that people are still waiting on that. And J Max said, I agree, but the BSV fork didn't exist at the time they made the agreement with the creditors. Oh, good you mentioned that. Wow. Yeah, some people made deals that they only wanted to get cash too. I don't understand why people did that. It's such a messed up situation. I think J Mac, what we can take from this is don't leave. This is going to happen again. People are going to lose their Bitcoin at exchanges. Sadly, people didn't control their private keys, so it really wasn't their Bitcoin. So they can get into these really nasty legal situations where they sign away crypto dividends before they even knew they were going to get crypto dividends. Oh God, it's nasty. It's so the last 4 minutes of this broadcast, it should just be an advertisement for Trezor. This is why you need a Trezor, so you don't have to worry about all this nonsense that can happen if there's an exchange issue. So don't keep it on the exchange. All right, dudes, that's the big takeaway from this. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, check it out. Check out all the links below. Seriously, you're not doing it right if you're not checking out the links. And again, reminder tomorrow, Gabriel Devine, he's always got crazy things, great things to say, wild things to say. I shouldn't say crazy. Maybe he'll talk about aliens. I don't know. Jan will be on, and Neil will be on. So it's going to be a good time. Those dudes are not bootlickers at all. So, it will be good. Thank you, dudes. I'll say hi to you in the chat.